Growing up, when I was a teenager and I first started dating, I realized I had no idea how to show affection. I would look at my friends and see them making out and, being all up on each other. I would look at TV and the movies, and I would think to myself, okay, this is what you're supposed to do when you're in love. This is what you're supposed to do when you're in a relationship. This is what you're supposed to do when you're dating. This is how you express love. I didn't know that there were many forms because growing up, I didn't really have much of an example. Our parents are our first example of what love is. They are the first woman and man that we fall in love with. Growing up, my parents were constantly fighting when they were in the room together. And so I didn't really know what love meant. As children, we don't realize that our parents are just people. Our parents are just people trying to figure out their lives every single day. They are imperfect. They are forever evolving. They are forever changing. They make mistakes because they themselves are trying to figure out life. And life is hard. It's freaking hard. And it's even harder to get past your own insecurities and love someone else. We don't realize as children that love can be imperfect. Love can change and evolve and grow. And one thing that I didn't understand was that our parents, they were learning how to love themselves. They were learning how to heal themselves. And in doing that, they struggled a lot to love each other. It wasn't until I got older that I realized love comes in all forms. I remember when I was in my first semester of college and I called my mom during finals to talk about when I would come home, and like my travel plans and everything like that. And right before we were hanging up the phone, she said, "Oh, I have to tell you something," very casual. And I said, "Okay, what's going on?" And she said, "So your father and I are friends. We hang out sometimes." I was on the other end of the phone like, I think I heard what she said, but it sounded really strange to me because my parents, they always argued. So I paused and I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, sometimes he comes over and we hang out sometimes." And I was holding the phone and I said, "Oh, okay." And she said, "So just don't be surprised if he comes over during the holidays." I hung up the phone and I was really angry at first. I was angry because all these thoughts about love were going through my head like, well, why do they want to be in love now? What happened when I was growing up? Why didn't they want to be in love then? Why didn't they want to be together then? Oh, now they want to hang out when I leave the nest. That's when they want to hang out. That's when they want to get together. And I felt all of these feelings of rage go through me like, is he using her? Why does he want to be in her life now? Why would she take him back now? But all of that, all of those things were my own personal insecurities about love, my own limiting beliefs about love being able to be this infinite thing that grew and evolved and changed and all sorts of things. There was no one way to define love. So I had to really sit with myself and think about it for a moment, this whole love thing. So I just, accepted it. I took my mom at her word. And long after I graduated, about a little bit over a year ago, my mom called me with a similar tone and said, I have to tell you something. I'm going to have knee surgery. And it was the first time that my mom was having a really big surgery in my life, which I'm fortunate that that's happened. But she said, I'm going to have a double knee replacement surgery. And I was really scared. I was freaked out about it. And I didn't know how to be there for my mom, but I said, I will try my best and I'll support her in every way that I could. And so I showed up at the hospital and I was there every day. And you know who else was there every day? My father. My father, every time I would come visit my mom, was always there. And sometimes they would be laughing and talking. Sometimes he would be on his way out as I was coming in, and he told her he would be back tomorrow. Sometimes he would call on FaceTime. And sometimes they would just sit together and read the paper, talk about the news, you know? There was one day that I remember that I went to go visit my mom, and she was actually walking around now. She was in the rehab or the physical therapy part of the hospital. And she said, meet me in the cafeteria. And so I said, okay. And I went into the cafeteria and I saw her beaming, like literally beaming, you know, just looking so happy. And it brought me to feel so much happiness. And I looked at her, and she was in different clothes, you know? And it was like a kind of bigger shirt and bigger shorts. And she said to me when I sat down next to her, your father came yesterday and he dropped off a backpack full of his clothes so that I didn't have to wear my hospital gown anymore and I could be more comfortable. And the look of happiness and joy on her face, it made me realize that there is no one way to love. There is no one path to love. There is no timestamp on love. Love comes in all forms, and I had to understand that my parents' love, maybe, you know, it wasn't perfect. Maybe it took over 30 years to happen, but it was all about them doing their own healing to be able to come together so that they could love each other. And at the core of it was they had their own understanding of what love meant for them, how love happened for them. You know, a lot of times when we hear the word love and intimacy, it's taboo. It's things that we don't really talk about, especially intimacy. Because intimacy, we think about intimacy and it sounds like, to a lot of people, sex, right? But I want to encourage you today to think about it in a different way. Intimacy is about closeness that's shared between two people. And there are so many ways that you can express your love and your closeness with someone else. From calling someone on the phone to just say hello and check in on them, from giving someone a hug or a long kiss, to holding hands while you're walking down the street, watching a movie, making a meal for someone that you pour your heart and soul into because you love them. It can be sitting with someone and just listening to them. Non-judgmental, non-critical, just listening. It can be giving someone a book that you know will really be helpful to their own growth and their own development. It can be putting someone in contact with someone else because you know that relationship would be something beautiful. Today, on this special day where we gather together with friends and family and community, or even sometimes just in our own apartments by ourselves, I want you to think about all the love that's in the room with you. I want you to think about all the different ways people in your life have expressed love to you and all the beautiful love stories that you yourself have been in with your friends, with your partners, with your family. And just really feel that love and that gratitude inside. Because it's so special once we open our eyes to it, you know? And it took me a long time to get to that point where I could accept love from other people in the way that they can give love to me. So today, when you're sitting with other people, you're talking to your family, remember that love comes in all forms. And that's what makes it special. That it's imperfect sometimes, that it takes a long time to evolve, that it can be gradual. All of that is just part of our amazing love story. You can change your life because you can learn to appreciate all forms of love, and you yourself can give all forms of love and receive it too. It all starts with you. I wish you a beautiful holiday today. May you enjoy your time however you spend it. And I send you lots of love and encouragement. You are the love, always. Thank you for listening. Have a beautiful day today and enjoy it. Enjoy it. Goodbye.